Hello. Welcome to Meditation Nerd. I'm glad you're here and I hope you are doing well. All right, so I uh last week was basically just all one big meditate or naked pause basically. Checking in with how different mantras were shifting anything, changing anything, maybe helping us sink into anything that we were ready to sink into. So today we're going to look at, or rather, the focus of today's naked pause is just going to be simply looking at where our meditative practice showed up within the last week. And that includes where it did not show up, areas where we wish it was showing up stronger, and just kind of notice where we're being guided as far as the meditative practice goes, um, where it's advising us to adapt, change, let go. I have one myself that I'm pretty sure that there's a meditation I need to stop doing, and I simply don't want to do it. So I figured I would sit with why um, in this particular meditative session. Okay, so I'm not going to tune in. Feel free to do that if you would like to. That's perfectly fine. I'm just in a regular meditative posture. I'm in easy pose on the chair. Feel free to lay down for this if you would like. And then we're just going to spend a few minutes here. I don't want to direct too much. I do want this to be an inward journey, if you will. And just, like I say, reflect on the past week. Notice where, just go through each where it's, positively that your meditative practice showed up. Check in with how that feels. Is there any heaviness, anything that needs to be tweaked? Yes, no. Go according to that. And you can start with the negative where it didn't show up if you prefer. And maybe you're bothered by the neutrality of how your practice is showing up. So spend time with that. I will be doing the uncomfortable let this meditation go because I'm really resisting that. So that's where I'm going to be spending my naked pause. Couple more breaths here. This will be a shorter naked pause for today. And just as a reminder, this isn't meant to be a dwelling necessarily. It's meant to be more a way that we bring awareness to our practice. And no shame, no shoulds, no, that's not necessarily needed either. The purpose of this is to give us a more respectful way to look at our practice as the organic experience that it should be. Because I will keep reiterating this because I feel like it is very valuable and very important and an incredible reminder to myself that our meditative practices should change with us. They should be adapted to where we're at. So that's part of why I wanted to have some sort of space where we could sit and take a peek at the last week. Maybe you stuck to just today where you had an experience and you're like, that's got my attention. I want to focus on that. That's perfect. That's the point is It's a way for us to reclaim our own practice outside of any other experiences that we may have had, whether it's dogma, it's more like an authoritarian teacher that we worked with, maybe any of that type of stuff, where we start to think that it has to be done a certain way or we're doing it wrong or it's not going to be as effective. And that's exactly what I'm doing with mine. So I have several meditations that I've maintained for, let's see, two over 500 days, three over 400 days, and then one that I was planning to do for 90 days. And my fear is that if I stop one of them, it will lessen all the other ones. Intellectually, I understand that's absurd. So I've just kept going with them. And sometimes I need to sit with that in order to really look at how absurd it is and be able to laugh so that I can let go of the other practices that are no longer needed because maybe 90 days isn't needed. Maybe the 1,000 goal that I have, 1,000 days as the goal, isn't needed. That's what started out to get me to keep going with it to reach the point that I did, that type of thing. So it's also a way for us to sit with ourselves and check in. Are we still doing this because it's needed? Are we doing this because we feel we have to? Are we just carrying this forward because we're afraid? Right? Those are all varying degrees of what's happening with me currently. So I feel like that's an important thing to speak about in regards to meditation because it's valid and it's okay to feel those things. It's also okay to let the meditation go and start a new practice, however that meditation shows up. And it's also okay to sit with it. And maybe yours was a solid no, I need to keep going with this. I just want to dedicate more of my attention to it, or I want to add 3 minutes, or, whatever it was that your internal guidance was directing you to do. That's perfect too. That's also needed. Um, as well as the neutral aspects where, you feel like it's not showing up. It's also not strongly there either, and to sit with that tension as well because again that's valuable insight and it helps us grow. So that was all for today. I just wanted it to be a shorter session and then just kind of reiterate my goal with starting the naked pause to begin with as a separate space to just be with our practice as a whole, right? To just check in and see how we're doing, if we're doing, how do we need to shift in any way to keep doing? So I hope you found this helpful. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time.